Previously on the Traveling Together Journal, we drove the infamous Ruta 666 over the Sierra Madre Occidental mountain range, did some off-road exploring in Parque Natural Mexiquillo, and hiked amongst the rock formations in Parque Nacional Sierra de Organos, before continuing our journey north with intentions of crossing straight through the rugged and beautiful terrain of Copper Canyon.
Today we're going to the Cinforosa Viewpoint. It overlooks the Rio Verde Canyon, and there's supposed to be a hiking trail that goes into the canyon and to a waterfall. Sounds pretty cool. Bye-bye, pavement. It was nice knowing ya. Matt doesn't believe me.
I just don't trust this map.
I don't either, but I double checked it. I'm glad we stopped and asked that guy. He like did a combination of like asking us questions about ourselves and helping us at the same time.
And it was like, I felt like we were communicating. Like I'd ask him something and then he would say some stuff and I wouldn't understand all the words because a lot of it's like town names and stuff especially. But yeah, I thought I was getting the point and then he would just be like, you don't understand anything.
Yeah, he was definitely making fun of us.
Well, I think what we got from it was that Google Maps did misdirect us again. Basically, we went past an intersection where we would have gone on pavement, and it directed us to go down the main highway further and then take this dirt road back up to the other paved road. So
thank you, Google Maps. You're always helping us with adventures.
it made us feel a little bit more worried than we needed to be because a lot of times there's not another gas station once you hit the dirt road. So anyway, it's another like 10 kilometers back up to pavement. And then he said that there's another like couple of gas stations between here and the town we're going to.
Well, that took us by a little surprise. There was a gate and a guy just came right up and opened it. But we asked and he said, yeah, we can camp. And it was 20 pesos a person to enter and we get to camp here. Oh my gosh, that's really cool.
Do you want to go to the waterfall?
Oh, we could just, what does it say? You can drive? Yeah, 4x4. Matt and I are ridiculously huge fans. We read that somebody hiked something when we get there, and we just get to drive it because we have 4x4. Go us!
Go laziness.
Yeah! I'm never gonna work off all this beer I drink. There's this really cool suspension bridge over here, so I'm thinking this might be maybe like a turnaround point. Look at all these like cool little gazebos. Like we could potentially just camp down here, which is super cool. So we have decided that we're gonna camp here and we're gonna clean up this styrofoam mess that's in this cool fireplace. And I bought those little weenies earlier at the grocery store because we were thinking it's cold and so we're gonna want to cook on the fire, and we finally, this is like perfect timing. last night was awesome. Like, everything was awesome. Pulling up here and getting this cool gazebo with a fireplace, and the night was just silent. And I woke up like so much crusties in my eye, I could barely get my eye open. It was great. I mean, that part wasn't so great, but I think it meant that I like slept really hard for a really long time. It felt really good. And this morning, it's still very beautiful here. Nothing's changed. And we're just gonna kind of slowly get ready to go for a little hike. So across the drawbridge, there was like a trail. I don't know how long it goes. I don't know where it goes, but we're at least gonna go for a little walk this morning. Jiggies, are you happy we're back? Are you happy we're back? Hi. Oh, yes. You're a happy doggy. Oh, he's gonna go greet Matt. He's like, yay! My family's back. I do think we have earned some beers. Cheers! Another sweet spot. So Matt went and checked out the road a little bit farther, so there's a couple switchbacks and then the ends, but that there might be a little bit of a trail down to the river, and he wants to get in.
Go check it out at least.
I think it might be a little chilly. We just filled up gasoline in Guachochi, and let's see, I feel like the paper map is the best way to describe what we think we're doing. So we are here, and we're gonna take this road, and we're envisioning that this is probably pretty paved. Then we're gonna go to Besaseachi, and here is where things get a little bit confusing. It seems like to us you would go to La Bufa, Bato Pilas, and then Urique, but all of our mapping apps show a mystery road going through here of the sort of white quality, very thin squiggly lines down into the canyon. So it is less distance-wise, but it would be a lot of that very rough technical driving, and we won't know of what consistency. So the plan will be to get here, and if we don't see signs, we're gonna ask around to see what route is best. And then moments later, it's definitely a flat tire. Okay, so this is where we're at. Alright, triangle, let's go. This thing is super seized on. Yay! Well, good news, it does seem like we can probably repair this tire. But we're gonna head back to Guachochi and see if we can get it repaired. Everything is just so easy and cheap here.
I wouldn't say everything is easy.
That's true. Actually, there's a lot of things that are a little harder. But that was really easy and really cheap. And it was 30 pesos. It was like, I don't know, $1.25, $1.50 to patch both of the holes. So we're at our decision spot and we've got a choice now. The Google Maps wants to take a right to that town, or we can head to Bufa, then Batopilas.
So even though going to Bufa first will be 40 kilometers longer than the route that Google Maps is suggesting, I just don't think that Google Maps knows that it's a paved road to La Bufa.
Okay, that's the right that we are not taking. Look at this road. Who wouldn't take this road? It's a good road.
At the bottom of the long winding descent, we found Bato Pilas, a small town hanging over the riverbank with narrow streets full of color. Despite its charm, we decided not to stay. UNICEF was having an event in the town square, and hundreds of people had come in from surrounding areas to seek aid. The influx of people sleeping in the streets, combined with the fact that the only hotel in town had no parking, made us feel a bit uneasy. When we started noticing the men with shiny belt buckles and shinier guns noticing us, we decided to move along. Just outside of town, the road turned to dirt, and we began our steep ascent up the valley wall to the west. The steep, loose sections posed some challenge in our heavily laden pickup truck, but overall the road was in fair condition, and we carried on until the early evening when we found a flat spot on a ridge 3,000 feet above the valley floor where we set up camp for the night.
Good morning. Look at this beautiful sunrise.
We set out in the morning, eager to get moving in hopes of reaching Urique before dark. A planned trip of only 45 miles, but with unknown road conditions it was impossible to guess how long it would take us to maneuver our home through this rugged terrain.
Well, we've got a little bit of an intersection. The GPS doesn't show an additional road, so dollar guess. Quickly, the GPS wanted us to be turning one way, and we were turning the other way, so we didn't get too far. And thankfully, there was like a little bit of an area where we can turn around here. We are back on course. Okay, we're at another crossroads here, and the GPS does not have two roads, so we'll just have to pick one. We have a winner! We chose the right road! This view's on Matt's side of the car, so I made him stop so I could video this. This is incredible. Alright, so here's our road, and then it looks like it tracks, and then we won't go up this ridge. We're gonna drop back down, probably on the other side of this ridge, and then this is our road, I'm pretty sure, and then and we'll drop down into that canyon there. And there's a river down there, and Matt thinks that might be Urique River. We've got our first sign pointing us to Urique.
We made it. We are at a campground and hostel in Urique called Entrada Amigos, I think it was, Enter Friends. And it took us 6.5 hours of driving today, plus the hour and a half we drove last night. So 8 hours overall. Probably a half hour of that was just stopping for snacks and stuff, and probably another hour stopping to like shoot video. So what does that leave you with? 6.5 hours probably of drive time from, what was it called? Bato Pilas to Urique. It's kind of expensive for camping. The price has gone up.
It's 400 pesos.
Yeah.
It's 200 per person. That's a lot.
It is a lot. But we're here, and the dude's really nice.
Yeah, they're really nice.
And so we'll spend a night before we do some more driving.
And the river is just right across the street.
Good morning, guys. It's another lovely morning here in the Copper Canyon. Waking up this morning in Urique at our little camp here, and I was just filling up our water jugs and feeding the Jagger bear. It was another beautiful morning. It always seems like there's something lovely going on in the mornings and in the evenings around here. Hasn't hardly rained at all, which has been a pretty big change for us. I think we're gonna move along, and we've heard that there's some more great views from the road going up the west side of the canyon. So we'll check that out and share it with you guys today.
So we stopped at this viewing tower. I've got another cool little bridge here. Uh-oh. Glass floor. Scary! Oh my gosh, I don't think I can walk on that. It's so crazy to think that we like drove from way over there on the other side of this canyon, up and down and through all of this to go into that little tiny town there, spend one night. Now we're driving out through this massiveness. Very cool. It's been a really fun adventure. Definitely been awe-inspiring. Matt and I have had lots of different conversations about like life being sparkly, you know, when you're 20 years old and or even younger and you go on an adventure, especially sometimes your adventures first time by yourself. and everything's so sparkly and new. Like going hiking to some beautiful waterfall would be like sparkly and new, but then at some point, especially on a trip like this, stuff kind of like stops being sparkly and new. But this canyon has been really sparkly and new, and it's been really cool. I'm really glad we did this crazy adventure. This is a good way to kind of finalize some of our last days in Mexico. Mexico's been awesome. Thank you, Mexico. So we just passed over the Bajo Chivo train tracks for the Copper Canyon train, which I had really wanted to do the train, and people had said to go from Creel to Bajo Chivo and then turn around. But then when I looked at the paper map, basically the road that we're gonna drive starting now to Creel is almost the exact same route that the train took. So it seems pretty silly to like drive the whole route and then get on the train and do it again on a train. Yeah, we found this like pretty groovy little place. It's like really nice. And it's the same price we were paying for that camping yesterday, which is why we really don't like paying that much for camping. Here it is though. This place is like, it's really cutely done. Jeggy gets his own rug. Look at that rug. It's huge. We've got a heater. Crazy to think we need a heater in Mexico. Ah, it's luxury for us. Window shopping. This is a really pretty pot. Even Matt likes it. All the little hummingbirds. Look at this one. It's like three-dimensional. Little lizards. These are really cool.
They have a lot of nice ceramics.
Yeah, they do. They got cool stuff in there. Look at what we just stumbled upon. Aha, I know what those are.
Copper Lodge.
Ooh.
Nobody's in there though.
Well,
closed. Guess we'll just keep walking.
oh, shut the front door. We're going in there for a minimum of a beer. This definitely looks like a typical American brewery.
Yeah, they got the whole motif now.
Yes, they do. I'm so sad. It's all just aesthetics. Lame.
All their brewing is lies.
Alright, we found a little taco restaurant. I got some sopes. It's definitely more our style.
We got tacos de asada, is beef. And then we got some shredded lettuce, fried onions, and a little bit of avocado on each one.
Yeah, alright. Woo, those are huge. Good thing Matt's hungry.
Alright, good morning guys. Oh, hold on a second. Sorry. We were putting a little air pressure back in our tires. Just using our little 12-volt compressor to pump those back up. And while I was doing that, I was just looking around the truck and found a problem. Our truck had this aftermarket steering dampener on it when we bought it, and it just kind of bolts onto the steering and then onto the frame up here, but you can see it is no longer attached. This piece has snapped in half, so that's just been bouncing around. Alrighty, I got that part off, and that is what we are left with. And I got about 10 minutes to get us out of our hotel room. So, moving on.
So we're just packing up right now to leave our hotel room, and then we're gonna head to a huge waterfall. It's after hours at the Mirador. The security guard came like an hour ago and pretty much told everybody that it was time to leave, that they were locking the gate, and we just asked if we could camp here. They've got open toilets and they're actually really clean. You just have to have your own teepee. And the parking's really level. We'll just set up our stove underneath their little gazebo here and cook us up a little dinner and probably get to bed early.
Next time on the Traveling Together Journal, we continue our journey north, and after 500 days of travel we approach the United States border and the sun sets on our adventures abroad.